Welcome to another edition, the Friday edition of Let It Be Known, sponsored by the Bell Project. They've helped over 40,000 folks get bail. They paid the bail for more than 40,000 folks. Go to bellproject.org. They're trying to keep this justice system in check somehow and give people back their dignity and their families. So they're building a justice system that is rooted in dignity and equality. So check out thebellproject.org for more information. It's a interesting Friday. An interesting Friday, as we all know it. Our gas prices are climbing the charts, killing our wallets because of somebody's war. Then you got CNN, CBS, and others merging. So it'll be one big MAGA happy family and a giant ball of disinformation. So we'll bring you some more information on that. Lifetime. We're going to get into Lifetime movies. We got a lot to talk about there. Lifetime is going black. Everybody else going MAGA. Lifetime said, we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bring y'all some scenes and sounds of blackness. Wendy's is doing something interesting. If you're into fast foods or at least working for fast foods, can make a little bit of change at Wendy's. We'll tell you about that as well. But first, of course, the gas prices. The gas prices have soared since the war began, and there's nothing to say that there's relief in sight. They're at $3.32 a gallon on average right now. Remember when the president during the campaign trail said that the gas prices would go below $2? He'd have them be below $2. Well, in some places they're over $4 a gallon now. In the latest series of price increases, just this morning, AAA says that we're at, in some places, well over $3. And the price has risen by 34 cents, or about 11%, since the war began. Energy prices have also jumped as oil and gas shipments out of the Persian Gulf were stopped by the fighting. And of course, the Iranian threats to oil tankers have also led to stopping shipments. But rising energy prices could also affect everything from the cost of an airline ticket to heating your home, and you know those prices are already high. A gallon of diesel in the US right now on average is at 4.33. So the truck drivers who make America move, it's costing more to do that. So the shipping goods, and so the ripple effect, right? Businesses are going to raise prices. So you remember all of that talk about how the price of eggs, that's going to climb exponentially. Um, Trixie says her sister just said the price went up when she got gas this morning in Georgia. Yep. Oh, and we should not forget it's Happy Swag Hoodie Day. Yesterday I was rocking Florida, but today, what you got, Orangey? Mississippi Valley, and that comes with a warning. He says, "When will our government learn?" Saddam Hussein warned us about what would happen if the U.S. committed to a ground war. Now Iran is waiting for us uh, as well. Yeah, this is a president who wants the Nobel Peace Prize and is going about it in a very weird way, isn't he? This guy wants the Nobel Peace Prize, but we got gas prices that are exploding. And again, it's not just the cost at the pump itself; it's everywhere else. I mean, most people. I don't know what it's like right now in the West on the West Coast. I know up and down the East Coast. It was just in a discussion with Austin Cooper and Denise Spurlock Barnes and others, and they were talking about their utility bills. And they have these delivery fees now that are higher than the average person's regular gas bill or light bill. So imagine that. Everything's going to go, he says, President talks about affordability. Affordable for who? Oh boy. So Trixie's going biblical on us. Says she was just reading Revelations and she swears everything she read is happening right now. Well, one of my all-time favorite scriptures is Revelation 21, 3 and 4. Um, and I truly believe in that. Death will be no more, neither will mourning, or outcry. Um, Clint says, where can I go to pick up my electric and gas? Let me know. Let me know. Where can I go to pick up my electric and gas? All right, Quinn. Uh, Pick some up for me. Remember, some might remember, but, talk about ghetto. Some neighbors, I remember, like, they would have their lights turned off, and then they would get a power cord and plug it into the next door neighbor so they could have that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to share electricity. Oh gosh. But, it's no joke. It is absolutely no joke. Ah, let's talk about what's really happening in American media right now, because this is just another corporate deal. This is a warning sign. I should say, it's not just another corporate deal. It's a warning sign, and I think we're past the warning signs. Paramount, of course, is acquiring Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers Discovery. It's a $111 billion deal that would put CNN and CBS News under the same corporate umbrella. Now we know CBS is now owned by the president, basically. At least he tells them what they can and can't do. CNN has been leading that way for quite a while now, trying to jump on the MAGA train. And again, we talk about forums like this and black owned media. So, you know, so far, still free. We's free. We still free. False. Um, CNN and CBS now. They've already decimated MSNBC so much they changed their name to MS Now. So, um, Gayle King was able to hold on to her job so far at CBS. Apparently, gave her a new contract. Someone says one outlet reported that it was for a whole lot less money than her previous contract, but they are putting MAGA folks in charge of CBS and CNN. Orangey says, now I see why CBS is trying to bring Sage Steele to their morning show. 100%. 100%. Apparently, or at least reportedly, the plan was to replace Gail with Sage Steele. It's she is a disgrace. That's all I'll say about that woman. Just an absolute Sage Steele. Absolute disgusting. Chicken says that's why I don't watch none of it. Yeah, it's an absolute disgrace to see anybody like Sage Steele, especially in this time. But CNN has roughly 3,400 employees. CBS News about 1,000. And but layoffs are coming again. Consolidation is coming, cost cutting, as they would say. Um, the Ellison family is financing the takeover. The Ellison family, this is why we say Trump is at the head of all of this. He's very much beholden to Donald Trump. Some could say it's the other way around. Trump is beholden to him, but Trump pulls the strings. Ellison has the money. Trump pulls the strings. And forget about it. There's some were asking, will editorial independence survive? It's been dead a long time ago. Um, and it's hard to see unless she starts becoming more of these Sage Steele kind. It's hard to see Gail King new contract regardless. It's hard to see her hanging on at CBS. This administration wants no black faces, no brown faces. And again, talk about the black press because we at Black owned media, we've been around, and we were never built by or controlled by billionaires. It wasn't built by hedge funds and mergers or even political alliances. Um, where else you gonna get trusted news from? If you are interested in news, and you should be to an extent. You don't wanna overindulge on anything, but you should be interested in what's going on. Um, because this is a reckoning. This is a reckoning, and this is what happens. We said it a year ago, but this is what dictators do. They seize control of the media. Look at the White House, and we've seen it for a year now. That place, the briefing room, it is. Totally. MAGA run. Questions from MAGA reporters only. So they're sneaking questions and it gets shut down and shouted out, shouted down. So that's the first step. That's always among the first steps. And then we see what we're seeing. Defying court orders, Supreme Court, wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and decides against you on one thing that really doesn't matter a whole lot, and you throw a tantrum and call them out and tell them that you find another way around them. There's a orangey. So this is what it looks like. Cutting social services, making people rely, trying to make people rely totally on the government. Grovel. They don't want you to just rely. They want you to grovel. That is what this is all about, folks. Total control and the international control. See, the mistakes I made were thinking that it was just about here, the U.S., and controlling everything here with getting rid of immigrants who built this country, along with African Americans. But this is international. This regime, and you can call it a regime. You can stop calling it an administration. It's a regime. This regime wants and is getting its way for the most part international. I mean, of course, there's some pushback. Canada, Mexico, Greenland. There's some pushback, but we'll see when push comes to shove. We'll see. We'll see. I think we already are seeing it. And so uh, here we are. Folks, on another note, on another note, how about this right here? You wanna if you've ever dreamed of getting paid a lot of money just to eat fast food, well, Wendy's may have just created your dream job. Wendy's has launched a nationwide search for a chief tasting officer. The role pays $100,000 a year. Wendy says the new hire will taste menu items, create content, and help the brand stay on top of food trends. According to Wendy's, applicants only need a mouth, a pulse, and strong opinions about Wendy's food. I don't think I've had a Wendy's forever. And it was out of desperation probably when I had it. I have to admit, Wendy's is never on my list. The job promises a lifestyle many fast food fans might envy. Taste testing menu items, creating social media content, and potentially starring in ads. Now, don't think I'd pay you more than $100,000 to start ads. But I mean, still, uh, what a uh, what a job to have. You'll share your opinions about Wendy's burgers, their fries, disgusting, and their great frosty friendly snacks. I like their frosty. The role also comes with a few more unconventional benefits, including a job AI can't steal because AI doesn't have a mouth. They don't have a human mouth. Every job you think about, you say, "Oh gosh, when is AI going to take that job?" We had a conversation again in that conversation yesterday. I was talking about with Denise and Austin. Of course, she talked about AI. Denise is she's a fan of AI, and I'm like, listen, y'all taking all our jobs. That's why when you read news items Pay attention when you do read news items online or in a paper or wherever, you see key words and key phrases and certain, uh, styles that automatically let you know this reporter is using AI. And everybody sounds the same. It's like so robotic. You read one article and they all sound the same with this AI. Now I get it. They're probably still training them, but it's so easy to tell. How do you give out awards anymore? Best use of AI? I mean, how do you give out awards to journalists? Um, but back to Wendy. The company says the chosen candidate will help shape the brand's online personality. Of course, as we said, filming blog style taste tests, weighing in on food trends, and bringing their own flavor to the Wendy's social presence. Candidates must submit a video explaining why they're the perfect personality hire. And then, of course, they got to show off their taste skills. So y'all wanna get down with Wendy's? 100 grand? I'm telling you. Uh, it could be fun, but it could also you gotta eat Wendy's food, though. If it were me, I'd probably be sick because I'd probably just stick with the Frosties, 'cause the chocolate Frosty, the vanilla Frosty, then the swirl, and then sometimes they have the strawberry Frosty. See, I think that's the only time and I think if I'm being honest, I probably have stopped at a Wendy's probably once or twice in the last 8 or 9 years. Of course, Orange, he says, "Heck no," but if they had crawfish, he's all in. Crawfish king right there. I don't know. What would be your favorite, food, to taste? If you had to get a job tasting food, what would it be? What would it be? A good, T-bone porterhouse steak. I can tell you who makes the best. A nice a nice, uh, single malt to go with it, meat, there you go, and maybe some, string beans on the side because you got to have the vegetables. And, you know, so who wants to, what steakhouse wants to hire me? I'm available. I'm very much available. Oh, boy, Lifetime is going black, folks, and once you go black, you know the saying, right? They're gearing up to make a serious investment in Black storytelling. Um, and it began this week because during an upfront presentation on Wednesday, the network officials revealed that it is taking its first foray into microdramas, while they also signed deals for new projects with several key Black Hollywood players, including Queen Latifah, Taraji P. Henson, Taye Diggs, Jerry Shepherd. Queen Latifah is going to executive produce 3 new Lifetime, original movies through her production company. The projects will start another chapter in Queen Latifah's, long-standing relationship with Lifetime, where she has previously produced and starred in several films. And those films generally center on, women's stories, of course. That's what Lifetime is. We used to call it the man hater channel. Taraji P. Henson is also expanding her producing footprint on Lifetime. Taraji is going to produce 2 original films through her production company, TPH Entertainment. Um, Meanwhile, Taye Diggs said, "Hey, they didn't say it was a ladies only party." He's gotten involved. Um, it's gonna be a slightly different lane for Taye Diggs, though, because Lifetime is experimenting with a new storytelling format designed for mobile view. So they're looking at, like, short dramas and things like that. So Tyrese, uh, will executive produce Tides of Temptation, which is a micro, drama that's made for viewing on your phone. The short form series will serve as a digital companion to Lifetime's upcoming Love of a Lifetime movie, Terry McMillan Presents Paradise with You. Then you also got, Q Stenline, or Stenline, or however you say Q's name, also known as Swag Boy Q, with Troy, Bookins, Mia Wilkinson, David John Craig. They're all, involved. So, um, uh, what how you say her name? I always call her Fancy. Fancy from, the Jamie Foxx, show. Dress that. Oh, boy. The shows, yeah, this is a problem, and maybe they are going to be a little different at Lifetime. The shows do, be the same thing, the same plot, same thing. So maybe they will they're thinking about changing it a bit. Again, we used to call it the man-hated channel because it's the same thing. A woman's eventually gonna kill a husband or a boyfriend or somebody because he was cheating or doing something crazy. That's that's how it goes. That's exactly how it goes with Lifetime. You already know the plot, you already know the outcome, so hopefully they're gonna change that. You got some great talent though coming over there. Sherry Shepherd doing her thing. She's working on, actually she's gonna star and executive produce the film Angel in the Rubble, and that movie will be based on, the book Angel in the Rubble: The Miraculous Rescue of 9/11's Last Survivor. It tells a true story of Janelle Guzman, who was a New York City transit worker who was, buried beneath the collapse of Tower 1 during the September 11th attacks. She managed to survive after being trapped for 27 hours. So that should be interesting. That should be very, very, interesting. Uh, uh, Here's a, interesting story our girl, Shawnee B has. She comes up with stuff, but, let's check her out. Let's go out there. It's only me to Shawnee's wife. It's your girl, Shawnee B. And if you're cool, you got to cool. Oh, yeah.
Disclaimer. Whitney Houston said, I believe the children are future. Yes, honey, and they are. You know why? Because they see positive influences and they tend to mimic that. And so if you're doing something and they see that this is something they may be interested in doing, by goddamn ugly ass gonna do it. Okay? And I'm here for it. Now there is a video of this adorable young kid, and his father is a head coach, and he's been watching his father coach. So now they call him the youngest coach because he's on the sideline being an assistant coach for daddy. And I love it because a lot of times they don't give the fathers the flowers they deserve. So when there's a good father out there, I'm ready to give you guys all of it. Now, I got the video. I got the video. Let's be mesmerized together. Let's go.
He's scared to get the rebound. He's scared to get the rebound.
In Tarboro, North Carolina,
We have to make sure. We have to have one game.
there are technically 2 Coach Besses for the high school basketball team.
Should I call you Coach Chris, Little Coach Chris?
Whatever you want to call me.
All right, I like calling you Coach Chris.
Coach Reggie Bess is the head coach for the men's team, and over the past few years, his now 6-year-old son, Chris, has become famous both on social media and in town for his coaching role.
What do you like to do with the guys?
Coach him.
Coach them?
It's an honor.
Reggie says Chris started mimicking him on the sidelines even before he could talk, and it grew from there. Now it's at the point where Chris likes to dress as a coach even when he's at home, which Mom loves.
He'll go get a Nike sweatsuit 2 or 3 times throughout the night or throughout the day. He'll switch out. And she's like, Crystal, what are you doing? You got me washing all these clothes.
Of course, Chris has much more freedom in practice, but on game days,
What y'all got going on? Making me look bad.
Chris usually stays near an assistant coach at the end of the bench and has the important job of bringing Dad his clipboard and marker when it's time to draw up plays.
Sometimes during the game, we have to tell him to get off the court. Telling Christopher that on game day is like talking to a brick wall.
You're a football player, and you're getting out there acting like you don't know what you're doing.
And while at this point, Reggie can often predict what Coach Chris is going to say,
Big time players make big time plays in big time games.
he still has a challenge for his son as he chases his dreams of one day becoming head coach too.
You got a young son that wants to be like you when he grows up. And like I tell him, I don't want him to be like me. I want him to be better.
Now, Reggie says he does think about retirement sometimes, but Chris says he's simply not allowed to for at least another decade, so he has a chance to coach Chris one day. In New York, for ABC News.
Yes. I love it. First, I thought it was AI. I said, I'll be damn this AI. Say what, but it's not. And the whole video while I was playing, I was sitting there like, because I had to pinch myself because this little boy has been here before. This little boy is going to be somebody. You better wake up and pay attention. Sister act. This baby's been here, and you can see he's passionate because look at his vernacular. He said, you play football, you like to play football. I would laugh. I'll probably be the player running laps at the end of practice because I would not take him serious. I'm like, I don't know if I flick you. But the fact that they respect him and the fact that he actually knows what he's talking about is all the reason why I love it. I love it and want some more of it. Absolutely. Now, again, when you are doing something and your kids see the passion about you doing that something, they tend to take heed. If they don't follow your footsteps and they're just as passionate about the thing that they like because they see that mommy and daddy, or if you are in separate households, that y'all together love what you do. And this is how it looks when you love what you do. So daddy, congratulations to you. I have not seen your wife. I do not know your wife. I just know that y'all are raising a spectacular human being. And at the age of 6, if this is where his mental is, his engagement, if you guys just keep on pouring this into him, oh, baby, you think a 6-year-old youngest coach is going to be his title? He is going to be taking teams to the championship in his preteens. Because I see it in him. I see it in him. Now, young man, definitely keep being the person that you are. Definitely make sure that you hold your daddy's backbone up because, again, you are his eyes behind his back. Get off that court before you get y'all a technical, but more importantly, just keep having fun because most kids got their face in their phone like this. Roblox. Not this kid. This kid is out here making plays on a clipboard with a dry erase marker. Nope. You did not get to the corner. Run around the post, open up your hands, shoot the ball. He run out of the court. He couldn't sit still. And he knew what he was talking about. So, Dad, again, this is epic. I want to know, like, what other sport do you coach that he could be interested in outside of basketball? And does he want to play basketball? Because most coaches have played. But I love a positive story because there's not a lot of positive stories about black fathers. Okay, it's not. And anytime we see one story, it's always negative promo, negative press. And then to see a child look up to his father that's present in the home, you don't get that. So Shawnee's World is going to show you that. And that's what I love when you get to see positive stories go down your timeline. We need more of this. So again, shout out to this family not putting a cap on what this young man has advantage to knowing, doing, and loving to be around. And that's what I love. Hello, with my ugly ass. But baby, I'm just the messenger. It's your girl, Shawnee B. If you're cool with your girl, get on cool with your girl. Make sure you check out my website. Yes, www.shawneebentertainment.com. Check out the fan gear. Option to drop donations, but never any pressure to do either of the two, because I see the likes, the shares, the comments mean the world to me. So I just want to tell you thank you from my lips to your ears for rocking with me, because y'all can be anywhere in the world, but y'all come keep me company, and I love that. Make sure you hop in the comments. Your child may not be into sports, but I'm sure that your child or somebody that's in your family at a young age is into something. Do you see the potential in them now? And if you do, are you pouring into them and putting them in the rooms of those places that can capture their attention and push them into positiveness so they won't be out here misguided and influenced by the craziness that's going on? So I know people say, well, I don't want to now spend the time with these babies because look what that time did for that young boy. Got him in there engaging like he's 17 or something. Man, using words bigger than what he's probably learning in his first and second grade class. But he's there, he's passionate, and the people in the gym respect him. So again, congratulations, Dad. Stellar performance. I love it. But until next time, next story.
Absolutely. Love the positive stories, especially nothing like father son, mother daughter, father son. Nothing like it. Nothing at all like it. And it's Friday. You got to bring some positive stuff. But we got this. We got this, folks. Yep, more. This is why we at war, isn't it? This is why we at war. Epstein files some new news, and obviously the president had to know it was coming. The Justice Department has released several more documents, FBI documents, yesterday, describing interviews with a woman who accused President Trump of sexually assaulting her as a minor. The DOJ previously withheld the release of these documents in their initial release of over 3 million pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein. The president's name was mentioned thousands of times within the files, including those alleging wrongdoing on the part of the president. And here, this woman claimed that both Epstein and Trump assaulted her as a minor. And this is just released yesterday. They detail her uncorroborated so far accusations surrounding her interactions with Trump that dates back to the 1980s when she was 13 years old. She says the assault occurred after she met Trump and a group of people that included Epstein. Trump allegedly asked the others to leave the room before, according to the FBI notes, mentioned something to the effect of, quote, "Let me teach you how little girls are supposed to be." The allegations go on to claim that Trump attempted to make the woman perform a sex act on him. The woman says she bit him in his private parts, to which Trump responded by striking her and having her removed from the room. She also makes allegations that Trump had, quote, illegal building permits. And New Yorkers will tell you the stories about the Trump family and the building permits there. Now, the FBI says, hey, we haven't substantiated these claims. They say we haven't substantiated them. It's amazing that the DOJ would allow, again, I ain't hating it that they're allowing these things to come out, but it's still amazing that they are. This is Trump's DOJ. Either either he's in there too much that they can't hide it, or somebody is sabotaging him. Somebody is saying, listen, this got to get out. Right, RNG, with the new release, Trump is probably going to bomb another country. Cuba better watch out. And yep, Cuba's absolutely on their list. And this is the amazing thing. Trixie says, yep, he had to pay her, but they still voted for him to be president, and they ignored all of that, but she won the lawsuit. Yeah, they ignored a lot of things. I always go back to my trip to Europe 2 years ago, and a Uber driver in, I think we were in France at the time, or London, whichever one. Actually, I think it was two separate occasions where Uber driver was saying, he was just running, and they were astounded that America would allow someone like him to run based on the convictions, because New York had already, I think they had already convicted him by that time when I was there, 34 criminal counts. You guys are allowing this guy. And we were like, that's how they do it in the US. These guys were astounded. And more astounding is, even if you subscribe to the theory that the election in 2024 with Kamala Harris, because some people believe, and it could be a lot of merit to it, that she actually won. You don't hear a lot about it, but we've talked about it. But even if you subscribe to that, it's still astounding that tens of millions of people voted for him based on the fact that he had been voted out in 2020, caused the January 6th insurrection, convicted, and then along with the convictions, he had these other charges hanging over him, massive charges, including classified documents, sharing them with enemies and foreign leaders, including the business fraud that a civil court found him liable for about $500 million. With all of this going on, but this new release yesterday, and notice how quiet it was released too. This new release yesterday of this young woman, this woman who said she was like 13 years old when the abuse began with Epstein, and allegedly with Epstein and Trump. So it's very interesting that that this stuff is able to come out under this regime. Maybe that goes into why he fired Pam Bondi. I don't know. I mean, Christy, no, I'm not Pam Bondi. Christy, but she's on the border side, right? She's the ice Barbie or whatever, right? I mean, it's unbelievable when you think about how this country is run. Trixie says she's not into politics at all, but she pays attention to everything because politicians are sneaky liars. Yeah. The one thing you will know about a politician is that he or she has told many lies. That's a given. That is a given. And generally, you think about it, and I'm with you. I cover politics. I always say I cover it, don't get involved. But think about this. You have a family member or you're in a relationship with someone and they just lie to you. That relationship is ruined, isn't it? Isn't that relationship? It's harmed. Yet with politicians, they lie, lie, lie. Yet y'all folks keep voting for them. it's 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 a battered spouse syndrome, isn't it? Oh my gosh. And it's so interesting that even when they supposedly on the same side, you look at James Talarico and Jasmine Crockett, and how interesting because Talarico pulled the white card out quick. He pulled no, he didn't pull the race card, he put the white card, the privilege card out. He told white voters, hey, check this, check this. And of course, them Texas Dixiecrats, they's like, yeah, you're right. This, she might be the best candidate. She might be the most intelligent. She might be better for us overall. But you're right. You're white. We gotta Talarico talk about, oh, she's my good friend. Isn't that what they all say? I got at least one black friend. And of course, he also probably calculated that Jasmine would take the high road, which she did. Which she did. I'm not a high road type of guy. I'm trying to be. But I'm not a high road type. Not all the time. Sometimes. But probably not nearly as much as I should be. But Jasmine took the high road. And you kind of knew he knew she would. He knew her personality. He works with her on the Hill. And so wonder what's the next move for Jasmine Crockett? She left her seat in the House. Her term officially ends at the end of this year. And now she didn't win the Senate. It's no question she's gonna be fine. She's gonna be well off. Jasmine's a lawyer. But she's also a dynamic speaker, a dynamic individual, someone who is going to get paid, whether it be and I'm not sure she wants to go to. She might. I'm not sure she wants to go the television route. Hey, Shonda H says Jasmine Crockett didn't even have a campaign manager or effective ground campaign. That's one of the reasons she lost. And that's what folks are saying too. I think Gary Chambers said that. I think a couple of others have said that as well, that Jasmine didn't have a effective ground campaign. She relied heavily on social media. But, and maybe you guys can correct me on this, but it's also a blow to former Vice President Kamala Harris. She strongly endorsed Jasmine, and yet, with all the popularity of Jasmine Crockett and the backing of the former vice president, and given that if you held the 2024 election today, there's no question, based on what based on what everybody knows, it would be a landslide, you would think. But it also, the fact that she fell short with Vice President Harris's endorsement could be a telling sign for the vice president's future ambitions in politics. So it's interesting. It's interesting. No, it's certainly not throwing shade at either Jasmine or the vice president, the former vice president. I'm just speculating. And Orangey, there you go. He says white liberals in Texas didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Don't forget, Texas is in the deep South. It's true. It's very true. That so you got a great point. It is Texas we're talking about. It is definitely Texas we're talking about, and that's why, right? And so Tallarico, as we said, he played the white card, and so those Texans, they were like, hey. We can't, yeah, we need different representation in the Senate, but not that different. They're not going for it. So we'll see what happens. Now he'll go against who's he going against? Ken Paxton or not Ken, or the other guy, Cornyn? The idea that this is really so for Democrats, this is really it for them. This is it. This is a they're handing this to you. And the only way that you don't win this thing in November, and that is both the House and the Senate, and I mean win where you have veto proof in both chambers. This is the only way you don't win. Has to be that this guy declares martial law or an emergency, and he's because he's already he's already floated it and canceled the elections. That is the only way you don't take over. Or, has been proven time and again with Democrats, they can't get out of their own way. They don't know how to capitalize on gifts at all from the GOP. They don't know how to capitalize. They're horrible with messaging. Yeah, it's a runoff, right, between Cornyn and Paxton. As a Texas resident, I knew West Texans were not going to vote for Jasmine Crockett. She didn't keep or expand her bases. She will land on her feet. Shonda H says, yeah, I 100% she's going to land on her feet. And yeah, that insight in Texas, exactly. And appreciate that, Shonda. But this is it's never been a more easy a time, unless things dramatically change between now and November, which even if they do, how do you ignore the last year plus, the last 13, 14 months? So unless something crazy happens, there's no way that the morning after the election in November, that Democrats won't wake up with full power. And then January comes when the swearing in. Whew. That's the other thing too. And maybe we're putting getting ahead of ourselves. But that's part of the problem with folks. They don't think it through. They don't think past tomorrow. But can you imagine that if the elections do go down in November and it go the way that it looks like it will go, landslide in both houses? Could you imagine a time period between November, what is it, 7th is the election, and January 1st, when the swearing ins, many start to happen? Can you imagine the chaos that the White House and MAGA is going to wreak upon this nation and the world? And no, you're right, RNG. He says, I'm telling you, don't count out MAGA and Elon messing around with the voting machines. Yeah, 100%. 100%. In fact, Donald Trump openly credited Elon with doing something, as Trump said, with the voting machines for the 2024 election. So, can you imagine? So you're absolutely right. And that whole, you remember last year, a point last year where after they turned the White House lawn into a Tesla showroom and all that, then the so-called rift between Trump and Musk, you knew there was something else going on there. This wasn't a real rift. Now the Marjorie Taylor Greene situation, at first, you kind of felt like there was some sort of ruse going on, but that's real. The Musk thing, Elon, that was just never going to be the case. It was never going to be the case. But here we are. Here we are. It's Friday. What's your favorite Friday song? Just Got Paid? Thank God it's Friday. Whatever it is, and whatever your plans are for this weekend, do it safely. And
Let's go, Flav.
Monday, we might have something over the weekend as well, so stay tuned to let it be known. And we appreciate you very, very much.